One,
Hmm.
two,
Hmm.
three.
Hello everyone. Today I am going to start a new topic, that is enzyme link receptor and transduction pathway. In this topic, besides the basic things of the enzyme link receptor, I am going to show two other type of system which is related to this receptor, and these two are MAP kinase pathway as well as JAK-STAT pathway. Let us start first with the basics of the enzyme linked receptors. Previously, I have already explained what are the receptors and what are the basics of enzyme linked receptor. Here I am going to show the details of enzyme linked receptors, those type of receptor which are either directly acting as a enzyme or those receptor which are somehow linked with the intracellular domain or linked with the other proteins which are acting as enzyme. They are known as enzyme linked receptors. The phenomenon are exactly same which you have studied earlier. In this pathway also, enzyme linked receptors are present on the cell membrane. When ligand bind to the receptors, after the binding, certain type of conformational changes occurs, and in the intracellular domain, there are certain type of molecules which are going to be activated. Let us study one by one. Once this transmembrane protein which are located on the membrane, it will be present in the inactive condition. Once they are going to bind to the ligand, they becomes activated. But for the activation, it requires dimerization. So we can directly say that when ligand will bind to the particular receptors, the two different receptors are going to dimerize or integrate. After integration, there are certain type of conformational changes occurs, and this change lead to the activation of receptors. In this diagram, you can see that when ligand will bind to the receptor, the transmembrane which is passed through the plasma membrane, they are having certain type of changes, and in the intracellular domain, enzymes will be present. These enzymes becomes activated, and further, after the cytosolic activation of this enzyme, further molecules or transduction of the molecules will occur. Let's see one by one different type of receptor. This enzyme linked receptors are a family member. There are several type of family member related with that. Basically, the famous one is receptor tyrosine kinase. This is the most famous and well known receptor tyrosine kinase. The role of receptor tyrosine kinase is, as the name suggests, kinase. Kinase is responsible for phosphorylation, and receptor tyrosine kinase, it means the receptor having tyrosine residue and they are having kinase activity, it means phosphorylation activity. It means receptor tyrosine kinase are responsible for phosphorylation of specific tyrosine. Next is tyrosine kinase associated receptors. As the name suggests, it is differed from receptor tyrosine kinase in the sense that receptor itself does not have kinase activity. They are associated with the kinase protein. It means if ligand will bind to the receptor, receptor will be activated. Receptor itself does not have kinase activity, but there are certain cytoplasmic proteins or enzymes present in the cytoplasm. They will associate with the receptor and they are having kinase functions. So both are approximate, but in the first one, that is receptor tyrosine kinase, kinase activity is present in the receptor, and second one, that is tyrosine kinase associated receptor, is not directly acting as an enzyme, but it is associated with the enzyme. Third one is receptor tyrosine, receptor like tyrosine phosphatase. This is phosphatase, not kinase. It means this is belonging to the first one. It means receptor tyrosine, but that first one was kinase and this one is phosphatase. The role of phosphatase is to remove phosphate group, and hence they are not responsible for phosphorylation. They are having reverse function. They are responsible for the removal of phosphate group. Fourth one is receptor serine tyrosine kinase. As the name suggests here, in the first one it was receptor tyrosine kinase, but here the receptor is same, kinase function is same, but instead of tyrosine you will observe serine threonine. After the tyrosine, this is the second most important family, that is serine threonine. So here the phosphorylation occurs, but they phosphorylate at a specific site of serine and threonine. So this is different from the first one, that is receptor tyrosine kinase, in the sense that receptor tyrosine kinase phosphorylate at tyrosine, but receptor serine threonine kinase phosphorylate at serine threonine. Next one is receptor guanylyl cyclase. As the name is showing here, this is a receptor also, but having guanylyl cyclase activity. This guanylyl cyclase are responsible for the production of secondary messenger cyclic GMP. So they are catalyzing the production of cyclic GMP, which is acting as a secondary messenger. Histidine kinase associated receptors. This is the last member of this enzyme linked cell surface receptor. As the name here suggests, histidine kinase associated. It means when this type of receptor will activate, they are responsible for the phosphorylation of histidine, and then they are transferring phosphate to the second intracellular signaling proteins. It means histidine kinase associated receptor are again belonging to the second one, that is tyrosine kinase associated, but the difference between these two is tyrosine kinase associated receptors are associated with the tyrosine, and this one is related with the histidine. See, I have shown here one diagram which you can observe. There are different type of variation observed in the receptor tyrosine kinase. First one is I am showing here cysteine rich domain. Then second you can observe which is a part of EGF receptor. Second is insulin receptor IGF-1. Then NGF, PDGF, FGF, VEGF, then EPH. These all are different type of growth factor. And in all these receptors there are minor variation occurs. One common point you might observe that in all these receptor there is a extracellular domain, transmembrane domain and intracellular domain. In the extracellular domain there are certain type of variation occurs, and these variations are responsible for the specificity. So in the extracellular domain various type of functional groups are present, and these functional groups are responsible to bind to the receptor. Like in the same way in the intracellular domain certain type of variations observed. In the insulin receptor, that is IGF-1, you might observe that two type of receptor. One receptor is present in the extracellular domain and other is present in the intracellular domain, and these two are associated. So it is making a tetrameric type of structure, and disulfide bond is present between these two. So we have to study one by one, but among all these two, the major family we have to study, that is receptor tyrosine kinase. Receptor tyrosine kinase is a predominant type of enzyme linked receptors, and they are having intrinsic kinase activity, and they phosphorylate tyrosine, as I already mentioned in the previous slide. So the mechanism is, at first ligand bind to the receptor tyrosine kinase monomer. As you know, in the enzyme linked receptor always ligand bind to monomer, then second ligand bind to second monomer, and then finally these two monomer which are far away from each other, they are going to be integrate, and that process is known as dimerization. So finally one ligand, one monomer, other ligand, other monomer, once they bind they are attracting with each other, and finally dimerization occurs. After dimerization, inside there are certain type of conformational changes occurs, and in the inside area, inside means cytoplasmic domain, they are activated, and these receptors, after activation this receptor phosphorylate each other. Each other means since they are dimer, it means one monomer will phosphorylate other will phosphorylate the first one, and finally these receptors are completely activated by phosphorylation, and this docking site is open. With this docking site some other intracellular proteins will join. These proteins contain certain domain, and due to this domain some other protein will be amplified or will be activated. One of the example is GRB domain, which is also known as growth factor receptor bound protein domains. See, I have given one example in this figure that receptor tyrosine kinase is present, which is present in the monomeric form. There are two receptor tyrosine kinase shown here. These are separated from each other, and they are present in the inactive stage. Once ligand will bind, after the binding of ligands, you can observe one ligand will bind to one receptor, other ligand will bind to the other receptors, and they are close contact with each other. After close contact, the kinase activity will be activated, which is shown here in the orange color. Then next, after activation of this kinase, the phosphorylation occurs. It means one receptor will phosphorylate other, the second one phosphorylate first one, and hence the total phosphorylation occurs. You can observe here that 3 phosphate group is present in the first receptor and 3 is present in the second receptor. Why it happens? The reason is here phosphorylation occurs with the help of ATP. So basically first receptor will break down ATP into ADP and one IP is released. That IP is actually placed on the other one. It means for the 6 phosphorylation, it means at 6 site for the phosphorylation 6 ATP is used, and consumption of 6 ATP lead to the activation of this receptor. Once receptor is activated, other proteins such as GRB2 domain is going to bind, and in the GRB2 domain SH2 domains are also present. So GRB2 domain protein which is associated with the SS2 domain, they becomes activated and further transduction occurs. So see, the first one, they are present in inactive state. Second, they dimerize. After dimerization it becomes activated. Third is phosphorylation. After phosphorylation, the fourth, that is SS2 domain, will be activated. Overall picture shown here. In this diagram you can observe that two ligands are one ligand is coming, two receptors are shown on the cell membrane. Two receptors which are tyrosine kinase receptor are separated from each other. One ligand bind to one receptor, other ligand bind to other receptor, and finally they becomes dimerized. After dimerization, tyrosine becomes activated. For the activation it requires 6 ATP. 6 ATP is broken down actually and they are converted into 6 ADP. 6 phosphate group is released and this phosphate group will bind to the tyrosine and hence phosphorylation occurs. After phosphorylation, these receptors are activated and now this receptor will bind to relay protein. Relay protein, it means SH2 domain or any type of GRB2 protein. Once they bind to the protein, cellular responses occurs. This is overall about the tyrosine kinase receptor. Now we will see the application of tyrosine kinase receptor. For this application there are two different type of pathway I am going to show here. They are very important pathway. The first is MAP kinase pathway. MAP, it means mitogen activating protein kinase pathway. As the name suggests, mitogen activating, it means this pathway is responsible for the activation of mitogen. Mitogen are those substances which are responsible for mitosis. It means in the cell, for the mitosis, mitogens must be required. Mitosis is a generalized phenomenon which is responsible for the cell division, or itself we can say that cell division are of two types. It may be mitosis and it may be meiosis. Meiosis occurs in the gametic cell formation and mitosis occurs in somatic cell. So this is the property of all somatic cells, that they participate in mitosis process, and for mitosis MAP kinase must be needed. So in almost all the cell this MAP kinase pathway occurs and they are responsible for the cell proliferation, apoptosis, cell differentiation as well as tissue development. So it is one of the most common and popular type of pathway. This pathway is regulated with the help of protein known as RAS protein. RAS protein is basically it's a family of protein that transmit signal for the cell division in human beings, flies and even yeast cell. So RAS protein is usually required for the cell division process, but it was observed that it is one of the oncoprotein. If I am talking regarding the onco, it means I am talking regarding the cancer. So it was observed that approx 30% of the human cancers are related with the RAS oncogene or RAS oncoprotein. It means this MAP kinase pathway, though it is very important for the cell proliferation or cell division, but sometimes this cell division process becomes unregulated, and you know very well that if unregulated cell division occurs, it means cell division is continuous, and due to continuous cell division, tumor formation occurs and this tumor lead to the cancer. It means sometimes for the cancer this RAS protein is playing very important role. RAS proteins becomes activated and they are not going to be deactivated. If they are not deactivating, cancer observed. I'll show the details of this cancer part when I'll take the separate lecture of the cancer. Here in this topic I am just going to discuss about the steps of MAP kinase pathway and the role of RAS protein in this pathway. The first is, as usual, ligand will bind to the receptors and dimerization occurs. This dimerization lead to the phosphorylation, as I have already shown in the generalized diagram, that after dimerization ATP becomes used, and by the utilization of ATP autophosphorylation occurs, and finally phosphate group will be attached to the tyrosine residue. The third is activation of the proteins. It means once receptor is activated, now there are certain cytoplasmic protein which bind to the activated receptors. These cytoplasmic proteins are contain a domain. What is domain here? See, cytoplasmic protein is a big protein. They are having one functional area at a separate area that is known as domain. So cytoplasmic protein will bind to the receptor only once receptor is activated. So in a complete picture I can say that when ligand will bind to the receptor, receptor becomes activated. Receptor activation requires phosphorylation. Now the protein which is present in the cytoplasm, this protein will bind to the receptors. After this binding, now protein becomes activated. When protein activated, obviously this protein contains one particular domain that is known as SS2 domain. They becomes activated. Now this SS2 domain will relay signal and further biological responses occurs. See, one of the example I have shown here. This protein is GRB2 protein. GRB2 protein is one of the examples. Several proteins are present which bind to the tyrosine kinase receptors, but one of the important protein is GRB2 domain, which is a part of MAP kinase pathway. This GRB2 is basically related to the growth factor receptor bound protein. It means when growth factor will bind to the receptor, receptor becomes phosphorylated. Now GRB2 will bind to the receptor. Now GRB2 becomes activated. In the GRB2, one domain is present, that is SS2 domain only, but here the name of SS2 domain is SOS, where SOS means son of semenless. It's a history how the name is shown here, SOS. So I'm not going to explain the historical part. I'm just showing here SOS, just a name you remember, SOS. So SOS is nothing, it's a type of SS2 domain, and GRB2 is nothing, it's a protein, intracellular protein which bind to the receptors. Now what happened? This SOS becomes activated and they are responsible for the exchange of GDP for GTP. It means SOS is responsible for the exchange of GTP, and finally this GDP will be exchanged with the GTP. When GTP bind to the RAS, RAS becomes activated. We have gone through the theoretical part. Now see the diagram. The same theoretical part I have explained here in the diagram. In the diagram you can see the receptors are present. There are two receptors. These receptors are separated with each other. Now growth factor will bind. After the binding of this growth factor, as you can see here, growth factor will bind to the receptor. Now receptor becomes activated. But before that, you have to see one condition. The condition which I have shown in the first diagram is receptors are present, but these receptors are not activated. In the cytoplasm, you can observe RAS protein as well as adapter protein. Adapter protein is also considered here GRB2 as well as SOS. It means adapter protein is GRB2 and other domain which is associated with them is SOS domain. And one protein I am showing here is RAS protein which is binded to the plasma membrane. This RAS is associated with GDP. So overall picture is there are three separate areas. In one area I have shown receptors which is inactive. In other area I have shown RAS which is still inactive because they are bind to the GDP, and in the third section I have shown adapter protein, they are also inactive. All are inactive. The activation of all are depend on the ligand which will bind to the receptor. Now once ligand or growth factor will bind to the receptor, this receptors becomes activated. As I have already shown in the mechanism or steps, they will be combined. After integration, they becomes phosphorylated. 6 phosphorus group will be added by the utilization of 6 ATP. Now you can see this adapter protein which I am showing here and RAS protein, these two they are going to be activated. How? Let's see. The first one is receptor bind to the ligand, receptor becomes activated. After activation, now this GRB2 and SOS which is an adapter protein, they bind to receptors. After binding to the receptor, now GRB2 and SOS becomes activated. This SOS is having GTP exchange activity. It means they are responsible for the exchange of GTP with the GDP, and RAS which was earlier shown as GDP, now this is showing GTP. So here it is activated, and now you can see RAS is now present with GTP, GDP is removed, GTP is present, RAS becomes activated. Now see, MAP kinase cannot be complete without RAS because it is mediated through RAS only. RAS is having GTPase activity. It is also related to the Rho, RAB, RAN GTPase. In RAS superfamily, there are several type of family members are present. It is also be analog to the alpha subunit of G protein. Now see, to understand this RAS GTPase, you have to understand two separate enzyme, or you can say active protein. One is GEF, that is guanine nucleotide exchange factor, and second is GTPase activating protein. I'll show you how these two are playing important role in the activation of RAS. As I already told you in the previous picture, that RAS becomes activated only when SOS will be responsible for the activation of RAS. It means at first SOS will be activated. This SOS, once activated, they are activating GEF, that is GTP, guanine nucleotide exchange factor, GEF. Now GEF will remove GDP and they add GTP. The RAS, which was associated earlier with the GDP, will remove GDP, and now they are present with the GTP. So now RAS is active because GTP is present. Now RAS will do their work. The work of the RAS is, I'll show later on, but just for the sake of the time, I'll just tell you that RAS is responsible for the mitosis processes. But once mitosis is not required, this RAS should be inactive. For the inactivation of RAS, this GTP should be converted to the GDP. For the conversion gap, it means GTP activating protein must be required. They are responsible for the removal of inorganic phosphate. Inorganic phosphate will be removed, and hence GTP becomes GDP. And by this pathway, RAS becomes active or becomes inactive. So this diagram is just showing that RAS is having GTPase activity. Sometimes they bind with the GTP, sometimes they bind with the GDP. If RAS will bind with the GDP, it becomes inactive. If they will bind with the GTP, they becomes active. Further, in the last diagram I have shown here that RAS is activated. So I am going to continue with the activation of RAS. In the RAS mediated pathway, overall diagram shows that when signal molecule bind to receptor, phosphorylation occurs, and here GRB2 domain observed. This GRB2 domain with the SOS, they activate RAS GEF. GEF will responsible for the removal of GDP, GTP be attached, and RAS is active. Now RAS is responsible for the activation of MAP kinase. There are three kinases: MAP kinase. This is the pathway, and this MAP kinase, they are a kinase type of protein. Once MAP kinase will activate, they are responsible for the activation of MAP kinase. Now MAP kinase, that is double kinase, they will activate MAP kinase, single MAP kinase, and this MAP kinase are having several functions. They might be responsible for the activation of protein, or they might be responsible for the activation of gene expression, that is gene regulatory protein. So they might either be related to the gene expression or they may be related to the protein activity. Remember, RAS will activate MAP kinase, triple kinase. This RAS triple kinase is also considered as RAF. RAS double kinase is known as MEK, and MAP kinase, which is also known as ERK. So MAP kinase is RAF, MAP kinase is MEK, and MAP single kinase is known as ERK. Remember, RAS is associated with the plasma membrane, like in the same way RAF is also associated with the plasma membrane. Only MEK and ERK are free. Now this ERK will be entered into the cytoplasm and they will do the biological activity. So what type of biological activity you will observe? You can see here in overall picture that once growth factor will bind to the receptors, these receptors becomes activated, which I have shown in the previous diagram also, and now RAS becomes activated. So basically I am going to show activation of RAS. I will start from the RAS only. As in the previous video I have shown that RAS is activated in the previous picture. Now this RAS will be responsible for the activation of RAF. RAF will activate MEK will be activate ERK. ERK is also known as MAP kinase. This MAP kinase will enter into the nucleus. They activate certain type of transcriptional factor, say for example AP1, and they are responsible for the binding of the DNA. Transcription and translation occurs, and finally mitosis process will begin. So this is MAP and this is transcription factor. This is overall about the MAP kinase pathway. The last pathway which I want to show here in the enzyme receptor families is the JAK-STAT pathway. JAK-STAT pathway is mainly related to the immunology and they are having significant role in the cytokines. So this pathway illustrate direct connection between the growth factor receptor and transcriptional factor. Read it carefully. As the name suggests, they are direct connection between this pathway's connection between growth factor receptors and transcriptional factor. In the previous one, that is in MAP kinase, what I have shown here is the MAP kinase pathway is actually transduces through RAS. It means when ligand bind to the receptor will be activated and they are passing through RAS, then MAP kinase, MAP kinase, and then finally they are directly linked to the gene expression. But here you can observe that growth factor receptor are directly connected with the transcriptional factor. It means there is no intermediate type of changes occurs. Once receptor will be activated, this receptor will bind to the intracellular protein and this intracellular protein are having direct connection with the transcriptional factor. And finally, transcriptional factors are phosphorylated and whatever the biological rules are there, it will be going on. This kinase is associated in the JAK-STAT pathway. Try to understand JAK and STAT separately. JAK is Janus kinase pathway basically. This Janus kinase is basically it's a kinase which is associated with the cytokine receptors. So they are basically cytokine receptor. It means this receptor will respond to ligand and these ligands are cytokines. As you know, cytokines, there are several type of cytokines. It means JAKs may be are of various type, but all JAK superfamilies are very specific. It means for different type of cytokines, different type of JAKs are present, but the common mechanism is same. So one cytokine will bind to the cytokine receptor, that is JAK receptor. Now this JAK will be activated. Now what is STAT protein? STAT is signal transducers and activator of transcription. It means they are those type of protein which are present in the cytoplasm and they are responsible to pass the signal from receptor to transcriptional factor. It means they are the only protein which are linked between the receptor to transcriptional factor, and they are a family member of 7 transcriptional factor and they contain SH2 domains. See in this diagram, I have shown RTK, that is receptor tyrosine kinase. If this receptor tyrosine kinase, which is also commonly known as cytokine receptor, once they bind to the ligand, that is cytokine, they becomes activated and they activate JAK. JAK is active now. STAT is present in, JAK is already a part of this receptor tyrosine kinase. Now STAT is a separate protein which is present in the cytoplasm. This STAT will bind to JAK only when JAK becomes activated. So see in the second diagram I have shown that cytokine will bind to the RTK, receptor tyrosine kinase. Now there is a phosphorylation occurs and here the mechanism is very common which I have shown in the earlier pathway. Phosphorylation occurs and JAK becomes activated. After the activation of JAK, STAT will bind to the JAK, STAT becomes activated and this STAT is having no intermediate pathway and they directly acting as a transcriptional factor and they directly responsible for the gene expression. In the last slide you can observe that this JAK-STAT pathway, ligand bind to receptor, STAT will be activated, which I have already shown here. In this pathway there is no intermediate, that is the beauty of this pathway. They are having several type of immunological function, such as they are responsible for the activation of macrophage, they are responsible for the increase MHC expression, they are responsible for the virus resistant from virus we can say, they are responsible for the erythrocyte production and they also stimulate milk production. So these are the overall benefit of this JAK-STAT pathway. So with this slide I am going to end this topic, enzyme linked receptors. This is one of the important receptor which I already covered. In the next slide or in the next video I will show you G protein coupled receptors. Thank you.